and scales incredibly well alongside both of these compositions. If you have it on the Jarvan side, then you know you're not going to be Cataclysm, right? Like, I think it's better for NONGSHIM, but they are going to go for the Twisted Fate pick here, which I think is something Faker has really enjoyed playing. So not only is it a nice pick away for T1's draft, like I think T1 absolutely can play that with Ashe Seraphine, but it means Faker can't play it for the rest of the series because he has found so much success on this pick since its rise to popularity, in part due to his picking of the champion. I think he's 4-0 on it right now in the LCK.
Oh, instead, he's going to be the one playing the Rise. We did see Vikler attempt this, I believe, against Faker yesterday in exactly the same matchup, just a bit of a role reversal. And he did okay in the lane. Obviously, everything fell apart around them, but it wasn't too bad of a matchup. Now Carrier to lock in something for Doran.
Yeah, I think Doran, if he has either a really safe front line here, it's hard for the Ezreal to cut through, or he can play something that side lanes incredibly well because he has the Rise. And I'd prefer the front line because it also works well with Seraphine, right? And so the Sion pick makes a ton of sense, and there isn't a lot of picks right now in this meta that really crush it. Like, is he going to play Gwen here? He might. I mean, they have a TF in mid. It could work.
It's Gwenable,
I think that might be the pick I'd prefer most here for Sion NONGSHIM Red Force, because somebody's got to cut through that Sion health. And this Jace, I think, isn't going to be that guy. I don't think he's going to be that pick for me. No. We have seen this actually struggle so much into the Sion.
Thankfully, it's Ambessa instead. And it's weird that I say that, because Ambessa has not been finding very much success at all. It's just better than Jace. I'm still not exactly enthralled by what NONGSHIM have put together. All right, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, onto the Rift 4 game number 1. T1 versus NONGSHIM. As Faker versus Scout, always a fun one.
Yeah, it's you know, we've talked about it a few times. We've been fortunate enough to have it already this year, but it's still, when you see those nameplates, I mean, the observers did a great cinematic, you know, looking at the champs walking to the mid lane. It is like, wow, you know, it's 2026 and we still get treated to this now in a domestic league. As, you know, both of these players were, you know, playing together, obviously Scout behind Faker for a brief period of time and then became big rivals internationally later on and have had the better of each other at different parts of time. Faker getting the most recent win over Scout and that huge win in 2023. In that the season where, or rather the World Championship, where T1 really got the LPL killer nickname. Yeah. And it's fun to see it, but right now when you look at the current form of these two teams and Scout's current form, the hype kind of fades away a little bit. You know, you think about the past, you get excited. You think about current times, and looking at rose-tinted glasses, I suppose, if you're really hoping to get excited about this one, is NONGSHIM really need to turn things around in a big way. And this could be the first step in doing so. To beat T1 would be a huge upset and definitely a momentum swinger.
Certainly would be. As right now, Diablo is hitting some of these Mystic shots. That's certainly going to be helping him out here in this lane. But Owner is making his way in, walks over a ward on his way over there. And it looks like Pleta and Diablo will just be able to play defensively enough to keep themselves in a good spot.
Sponge is going to cross the river here because he saw that he was backing. Actually, this is really huge. That information that was granted is going to cost Owner at least this blue buff here, it looks like. And as long as Sponge can rush this one down, they do both have Smite. But this is a really good read here from Sponge. And at this point, Owner's not 100% aware, but he will check. It's a Smite fight.
Will he be able to actually get it? The answer is yes, as Owner takes it away. The flash to follow. 3 Talon Strike for the knock up there, as well as Sponge will be able to find the flag and drag. But Faker, he's able to ghost on over, and that is a dead Rise on a, sorry, dead Jarvan on a silver platter for the Rise. Faker off to the races already.
No, I don't think Owner had any vision of where Sponge was, but I think he was
so they saw him on the Raptor ward. Okay, so he was walking south from the Raptor ward.
Okay, so he did get seen there, because I was going to say otherwise, that's an insane read that he's just like, nah, they're playing too safe in the bottom lane. I think he's going to cross. They saw me. I'm going to check. I'm going to 1v1 him, and then we're going to get the kill. But if they did see him, obviously it's a lot more obvious what he did there, but still is able to get the punish, and Sponge just wasn't able to kill that blue buff fast enough. Doesn't even secure it, by the way, so dies and doesn't even get the buff.
Yeah. And obviously, the buff would have gone on to Faker if he had have secured it, so almost in a weird way, could have been good. if Sponge picked it up, so that then the Rise would be able to get a lot of extra money, as Pleta could just be dead here. Pays picks it up, and Scout is almost dead as well. Sponge looking to try and get his revenge, though, and Scout will be able to make it to relative safety. Owner moving in, though. That means that Faker is going to survive. Scout needs to be a little careful, but will be able to just secure this cannon and get himself out of there. Already T1, though, 1.2 thousand gold in the lead. And that is 6,000 assists. So it took us just under 4 minutes, and Carrier makes it to 6K, third in the league. Only one under Lehens.
Lehens is like, it's not fair, I'm not in this game.
He could have challenged, as Carrier's going to be moving up to second place with any sort of assistance.
Now we'll watch this play one more time here. Pleta just unfortunately too far forward. Carrier sets this one up. And it's Ash Seraphine, pretty simple. And Scout does get chunked down here. Survives with 3 HP.
Oh, 3
HP.
And that's why you drink your potions, because otherwise that cast minion auto would have taken him down.
So pretty crazy there. As Kingen is trying to continue to apply the pressure here on this Ambessa. Definitely prefer this to the Jace, because I think the Ambessa does so much more in team fights. Like, we used to think about Jace as like, oh, late game he does a lot because he can shock blast, and if he doesn't shock blast the Scion, it's totally fine. But Ambessa just kind of runs through the whole team and does damage no matter what.
Also wins in the side lane, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think Jace ever does. I mean, yes, there has been like the Black Cleaver build that does get through tanks a little bit better, you could say, but I mean, I don't think it'll ever make Jace really that good as a tank buster, and Kingen on this Ambessa should have a little bit of a better chance at making that happen later on into the game. And also, we'll be able to fight very well in the mid-game. Plus, the follow-up, like you were talking about, with Scout finding these Destiny Gate angles, and then Kingen with Public Execution should be able to follow up pretty nicely in a lot of these fights. You can understand what NONGSHIM's comp wants to do. Unfortunately, I just feel like it's not as good as T1's at this point in the game right now.
Yeah. I think that the Ambessa ult nerf is something that, and this is kind of my personal take, it feels like a lot of the missed ults we've seen are because players just haven't yet adjusted, because they've played so many Ambessa games, to the timing, and they kind of just whiff it because of that. And if they had adjusted, you know, they would have been like, okay, I can't actually hit this one. I have to wait a little bit longer, wait for some more CC, or wait for him to get to a smaller choke point, for example, where I can hit this guaranteed, because they just try to do it as fast as possible sometimes, and it just gets walked so many times. It's kind of crazy. Yep. I think that we'll eventually see players get better at it, but I think that as someone commentating pro games, I wish they didn't nerf it, because she was already having a tough time, Atlas.
Yeah, I don't think it was all that warranted. Maybe she was a bit of a menace in solo queue, and being able to help with that is generally a good idea. Still, NONGSHIM looking to try and defend their blue buff here, as Diablo will be getting back towards the wave by the looks of things. That might mean that they are just going to give this one up. Sponge might actually have trouble getting this Gromp as well, as the beat drop is going to come on through. Flag and Drag does get Sponge out of there.
Faker is starting to generate a pretty massive lead over Scout here, despite obviously the Twisted Fate passive. He has the extra kill. It was first blood. And so, you know, even though neither of these mid laners explode on like a first item component or anything like that, you could see that the Rise is going to be a little bit accelerated here in this game. And he starts to build up experience lead like he has right now, then can really start to put the pressure on in. We do see a TF ult.
Yeah, in goes Scout, and there's no flash on Pays as well, so he's not getting out of the Cataclysm. A very dead Ashe here, and NONGSHIM are on the board.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, Pays doesn't have flash here, so there isn't a whole lot of outplay he can make once, you know, he's in range of that gold card coming through, but maybe a bit more communication from Faker could have prevented this situation, but it's a really good read here from Scout. Gets down and helps set that one up. So perhaps a caster blessing of the TF in this case.
Yeah, perhaps. That's almost a steal away here for Ona, who now has Flash on cooldown. He's not getting out of here unless they can fight their way out. True Shot Barrage to take down Carrier, but it's traded immediately as Sponge will go down. Realm Warp looking for Diablo as well as he flashes to get himself out of the way. No Root is going to help peel for that. And that is a dead Diablo and another kill over to Faker.
I think this is a great utilization of Faker's ult advantage in this moment. Even though it wasn't how the fight started out, I think T1 knew, and they were able to shot call very quickly. like, we get contestants, we might get the steals. We're going to go back here to the Destiny Gate, and actually looking at the angle he took here a little bit more closely, it was pretty difficult to actually expect this was going to happen. Faker was coming down as well, but now they're like, okay, he doesn't have that.
Oh, down to 3 HP, by the way. Slightly early spot.
Yeah, so he almost gets the steal. Faker has Prio, and he has Realm Warp, and the Twisted Fate actually cannot ult in to flank or to really support here, so they can chase deep like this, and I think that's the crux behind the decision to go in here, knowing how split NONGSHIM were. And Faker picks up a second kill on this TF. Woo! Or sorry, on this Rise.
That is a little bit of a whiffed arrow there, unfortunately, for FaZe, but luckily for NONGSHIM, they are able to keep themselves alive. Obviously, Diablo needs to rely on his Arcane Shift to stay safe in this lane, with now the Flash being down. And having a look at where the money's at, Owner is really doing well so far in this game. Will have his Sundered Sky pretty quickly, as there is some Void Grubs taken here by Sponge. At least he's able to get that against the flow of play. And Sion just going to spark Farm Alarm as he heads back towards the top side in order to take all of these minions. Doran having a bit of a slow one so far. Just trying to hold King at bay as best he can. Beat Drop does come on through though. There's the Encore connecting onto Diablo. And FaZe just needs another auto or two. The barrier does come on through though to keep him alive. And now Owner is dead. Scout going to collect that one. And Diablo able to get himself home.
Yeah, I was watching that on the mini-map. It looked not good for T1 because they just did not have any way for Doran to join that skirmish. As another true shot.
Yeah, Pop Blossom is going to come through here as well, as FaZe is just put down by Pleta. And now looking for even more, and Sponge making his way through should mean that Carrier is just dead. Just plonks him on the noggin. So that is now NONGSHIM with a kill lead. Yeah,
this game is very close right now, and T1 are playing pretty fast and loose, trying to play aggressively on both sides of the map. Something's got to give. As I'm sure we'll get a replay of what happened there in the jungle, but Owner went towards the Raptors to try to contest with the Prio that Faker had there. But Doran, as you mentioned, just used his ultimate to go back to the lane. Kingen was able to actually rotate over there faster. So see how this one eventuates. Look at where Kingen is on the minimap while this is being challenged. I think this is just pure greed out of Owner. Despite the fact that Faker is here faster, the Ambessa comes over, hits the ultimate. Scout is able to show up. Sponge can buy so much time here with the Cataclysm, and Faker just doesn't have the damage to secure anything back on the other side. And then here, great play from Pleta. Gets the double knock up here, and Diablo stays even though he's low, because that's who he is. He likes to play on the edge. They're calling he's got no flash, and he just tells Sponge to take the kill, and he does.
Yeah, take the kill. No flash, no flash. Just go and kill him. And that is precisely what they did. And man, I asked for it earlier on before the game. Make Orcs' life easy by giving us some good things to talk about as far as Pleta is concerned. And already, this Nico sitting on 2-1 and 2. Stole away that first kill, which is not exactly the greatest here, but 4 out of 5 as far as kill participation, looking absolutely fantastic here on this bottom side. And we were going to say that this was going to be the difficult lane, right? And so far, NONGSHIM very competitive. And Diablo working towards that first item, should have that 2-item spike relatively soon. And that is going to be when NONGSHIM really come online. Especially because Scout is getting towards a second item as well, right? That Lichbane, the Rapid Fire Cannon should be coming in relatively soon. And that's when NONGSHIM's comp really does start to work.
Okay, there is Sponge in the vicinity here. They're going to try to punish him, but no route to connect, so he should be able to clear that and get out. Scout has this blast cone they're just trying to operate around, but there are 4 T1 members down here, and Diablo did complete his back to buy his Trinity Force, so NONGSHIM do play respectfully as they should. No flashes are forced, as Faker's still generating a pretty significant, I mean, it's a hefty CS lead he's got right now, so much so that the passive of the TF has not given him a gold lead here.
Yeah, Wind becomes lightning here, though, from Owner, as Faker lying in wait in that fog of war. Looks like Sponge not going to take the bait this time, as Carrier walking on vision. Diablo just going to move back towards the wave.
No Cole complete here for FaZe. See if what he can buy on this back, because he is actually going to be stopped.
Yeah, Sponge actually able to stop him there, as now Scout looking for a little bit of an angle. There is the Encore. Doesn't quite work out there, as they were looking for Sponge, in fact, as Owner is now taking a lot. Sponge flashes out of the way, very close to dead, and the Pop Blossom is going to connect onto 3. Scout will be going down, though, as Faker finds that 1v1, and now Owner gets his revenge. Wind doesn't become lightning onto Diablo, but I think it's going to be just fine here for T1 as they find a phenomenal team fight just before the Drake.
God, Diablo is insane, by the way. He is not going to get this kill, but he's got True Shot. Maybe he actually does? No way, he actually lines it up, right?
Surely not.
He's like, Owner definitely does Dragon here. Hold on. He's on vision, so they will see it, and he's just not even going to commit.
All right, not going to throw it out just yet.
Maybe he's trying to steal the dragon with it. Obviously, it would be low information he has. It's very tricky to make this call. He goes for it.
Yep, True Shot Barrage does come on through there. Just going to help Owner out, and he will be able to secure it. Obviously, stealing things away from a smite has become a whole lot difficult. A whole lot more difficult.
Watch this from
Keria.
By the way, he is able to get this Destiny, like he flashes to get the charm.
Oh, he actually gets it onto Scout. I didn't even see it onto Scout.
He flashes to get it onto Scout as he's Destinying in, and then hits the follow-up route on the other side of the fight. Like, Keria is carrying both sides of the skirmish right now. Hits a follow-up here onto Pleta as well. If Owner hits that when it becomes Lightning, Diablo is likely dead. And man, T1, they know how to scrap. They know how to apply that pressure with the prio they have with this Ashe Seraphine, and they are just pulling further and further ahead. 2.2k the lead, despite some great moments for NONGSHIM in this game.
Yeah, NONGSHIM actually have been able to find some of those things that we can speak positively about. So definitely an upgrade from T1's most recent series that was yesterday. Still, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's so difficult to play into Xin Zhao, Ashe, Seraphine on the best of days, and already they got off to a great start. And Pays has just looked better and better on this Ashe, and he is now 2-2-2, but he has a little bit of a CS lead and also 1,000 gold in the lead as well. So he's taken a couple of plates towards the bottom side.
He has big
made a bit of extra money
to fill, right, with Guma being the previous Ashe player on this roster, and it's good to see that he's able to really hit his full strides now on this pick. Not to say he was playing badly on it before, but it just wasn't hitting the same as it is now. And T1 are playing through that pressure incredibly well. Feels nostalgic almost in a lot of ways to see this Ashe lane just dominate and to see T1 just constantly play through a Rise mid pick. It's classic.
Yeah, Sponge in a little bit of trouble here as the arrow is going to connect. Owner finds the audacious charge and will just take down his Demacian Prince. And now should be a Rift Herald going over to T1 as well. No smite available on NONGSHIM. And that lead is only going to extend further. Oh dear. It was looking so good until it wasn't. That Pop Blossom also going to go in that category as Pleta doesn't quite find it. Does get the flash out of Pays though. That is going to be important as that gate was not important. Scout goes about 2 meters with that one just to pick up a wave.
Yeah, he basically looked like he was opening the gate to see if the newspaper arrived. And he was like, I guess not. Closed the gate right away.
There was some news that he really wanted to get.
His Nintendo Power Magazine's not coming today, I guess. As we do have Kingen on this crazy flank. Will be spotted, though, so he's actually just going to get delayed on his back. And look at the Faker push topside. There is no answer, like, at all. They're going to get maybe that whole turret. Sponge alone isn't going to be able to deal with this. And Kingen doesn't have TP because he went for that flank. So Faker's just like, thanks for the money, man.
Yeah.
I'm robbing you blind.
And that cannon just going to go to the wayside. Sponge just going to prioritize his camps. And, yeah, that means that NONGSHIM fall to about 3.4k behind.
That's going to get even bigger if they do complete that topside turret. Scout does have TP, so he comes up there to defend it, but it's lost a lot of its plates.
And Pays now has 2 items complete. Diablo not quite there yet. And the Hex Optics and the Phantom Dancer makes this Ashe very, very scary as she looks to kite around these NONGSHIM members. And yeah, there is a bit of range in this squad, but if it's Kingen that's trying to get on top of him, yes, he has a whole bunch of dashes, so maybe Pays can outplay that with the items that he now has put together.
This comp has so many peel tools is the other problem. I mean, that's what happens with Ashe Seraphine, right? As Seraphine can engage, but also just keeps your Ashe safe, but you have a Scion, you have a massively fed Xin in your corner as well, and its owner piloting it. As you can see here, he's utilizing that advantage quite confidently at the moment. So it's really hard to kill Pays in any situation. Look at the boots of choice here for Diablo. You know, he's got his carry pants on. He knows what he's got to do.
The gluten is coming out as now Carrier. Oh, the flash actually towards Pays here as they do look to capitalize on that lack of flash, but unfortunately, it just does not work. Doran going to show up here as well as Kingen going to be held in position and wiped out. Ona is dealing with Scout towards the north of the fight, and Pleta and Diablo now just wondering what the heck they're supposed to do. Ona flashes in the end as Diablo gets out of the way of the Wind Becomes Lightning, but T1, they should be able to deal with this outer turret. The gold lead is just going to explode, and it looks like their form from yesterday has carried over.
Isn't it crazy when sometimes when you say something on a cast, it just comes true right afterwards. You're like, they've got a lot of appeal for him. I don't think they can get on him. And NONGSHIM was like, oh yeah? Let's see. And yeah, I mean, the Seraphine's there. right? That's the crux of this, is when you fall behind, this comp is so oppressive, and it is so strong early as well. That's why Ashe Seraphine is just shouldn't be given over. Look at this engage. Curry is just like, nah. By the way, also hit Scout again on the Destiny. Like, he is doing so much work, and FaZe is just like, well, I guess go kill them. Thanks for the help, guys. I don't have enough health to really follow, but you got this. Owner's red buff ticks away, so he has to commit the flash here, but he does end up getting the kill there as well. And it looked like this game might have been interesting early.
Yeah.
But it has really changed the game state quite a bit. It is looking a little bit less like I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think I do know what's going to happen to Sponge here.
I think Sponge may find Carrier and then go away, because T1 are a little bit too frightening. They didn't have the information as to where the other members were, so they will just be backing away.
Look at Faker's experience compared to Scout. He is 2 levels up.
Oh my goodness.
He has been spending so much time in the sidelines, but he's been roaming to fights and picking up kills. So he's got the gold lead and the XP lead. And that turret on the top side is, I think, where T1's next focus is going to be, because if they take that off the map, there's so much more power around the spawning Baron. And, you know, surprise, surprise, T1 with a 5.5k gold lead got their eyes on it with an Ashe that is getting closer to that 3rd item.
Yeah, Infinity Edge on the way. Does still have the remnants of his cull there as well that did cash in. But the largest lead on the Rift is Ona. He is going to be very difficult to deal with, as the Destiny does come on through. Scout not really using it for much, as the arrow is going to sail by. Does look fantastic, but doesn't get a lot done, as there's the flash encore. Great flag and drag there from Sponge to make sure that he's able to get himself out. Carrier going to give the good old deft thumbs up as he doesn't quite find the engage.
If they get that kill, they might actually be able to do Baron on spawn. For real. So I think that was the thought process behind Carrier's flash engage there, but Sponge had an amazing flag and drag to buffer, and he gets away. The aim of Carrier in this game has been out of control good, but still, he is able to escape. And Baron's not on the cards, but they get the turret on the top side, and this gold lead continues to sit half towards 6k.
Yeah, this is, it's still looking like a bit of a rough one here for NONGSHIM, because their composition also really wants to be playing from ahead at this stage. Obviously all compositions do, but this one doesn't really function all that well without having that added advantage. I think stacking up some dragons would have been really good for them as well, but that's also not on the cards, as there is 3 minutes until this next Infernal, and that'll be soul point for T1 if they are able to get it. And the map has just become really, really small, and that's what NONGSHIM wants to be playing around. They want to be playing around map control that they just don't have.
Yeah, they really don't, and we talked about it in the draft, like their Twisted Fate can't do much here. As you could see, they're just going to walk up with Seraphine, and Owner is like, I don't care if I lose half my health bar, I'm going to get it right back.
Well, now a potential angle here, as Owner will need to Crescent Guard. So that's a decent cooldown that NONGSHIM have gathered for themselves. They are looking antsy. They want to start something, but they're just not quite able to find it. As now Kingin looking to do battle with Doran here. That's a level disadvantage, and it takes a while to get through him.
Okay, here comes a really optimistic TF and ult.
Yeah, Scout is just going to get turned on here by FaZe. Does actually make it out. No! Calculated there on the red buff tick, as FaZe now throws the arrow out, and the Arcane Shift isn't going to be enough to get Diablo out of it. It's a triple here for FaZe, as he's on the warpath looking for even more. Kingin will not find the public execution, but he might find the pentakill here for FaZe, who picks it up at 22 minutes in game number 1.
All right. That'll put a cap on this one, as Owner's already starting up the Baron.
Yep.
Okay, well, 10,000 gold lead here at 22. We are very much in a GG territory here, as Faker's also just not even needed to take this Baron with the full ace by FaZe. Doran was not there at the initial part of the fight, and I thought, okay, something weird happened in the side lane, because I saw his position was like past the inner turret, and then Kingin was chasing him down. It just doesn't really matter, as this is a bit puzzling to me, because it's an Ashe Seraphine that you're trying to engage on. And by the way, Scout survived with 3 HP once this game. It would have been criminal if he got away a second time. FaZe gets that kill. Doran is able to match the TP here somehow. And then this shift is a problem. But once Diablo's gone, they're like, oh, we go all the way to the fountain to get these kills. There's just nothing you could do. Kingin misses the ultimate, but I don't know how much that really would have mattered. But Ashe isn't letting you get away. Too sticky. The slows connect. He gets the penta. It was really well set up by the rest of his squad, but he'll be the one who gets the the big fancy icon, as here comes Diablo.
Yep, doesn't quite get the value there as the Pop Blossom only connects onto Ona as a response. Still, Train coming on through here. Scout takes so much damage from Doran. That was half of his health bar from an ult. What the heck? As Carrier tries to go for the extension there. Scout's health bar is not looking long for the world as Faker is doing so much damage. Realm Warp comes in. That's going to zone Diablo away from his base. And now Ona looks to try and take down this Ezreal. Looks like T1 are going to be focused on this turret for the moment, as somehow a siege minion got in behind the inhibitor thanks to the Realm Warp. That's very, very cute. But with Baron, I mean, this might just be the end of the game. Scout and Sponge still dead for a little while longer. The rest of NONGSHIM going to have to find something to get rid of T1 from their Nexus turrets. As Doran tanking up 2 of them. I don't know about that one, as now Diablo is in the fountain, and Pays doesn't care. Takes down Pleta first, and is now looking to turn the damage. King is his next target. Sponge is not flag and dragging in any successful way right now, as Doran suicides onto the fountain, and T1 will take down the first Nexus of the series.
T1 have truly found